I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. In today's topic, I want to talk about hypergamy and how men can actually understand hypergamy from a different point of view in order to allow women's hypergamous nature to give them the opportunity to get the best women that they can possibly get as well. And the key is to understand this, that nature is cruel to men and time is cruel to women. If you can really integrate that into your well-being overall and as just integrate that into who you are as a man, you're going to be much better off in the long run. And the reason that I like hypergamy is because it demonstrated to me that women are actually resources to acquire for men on a man's journey to manhood in general. What do I mean by this? Now, I'm not saying that women are supposed to be used as objects or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it is the case that women are helpmeets and they actually enhance our lives if they come correct. And if the man comes correct, he's definitely going to enhance hers. We're supposed to be able to help each other in many ways. The men are supposed to provide and protect, and the woman is supposed to help the man in what he needs to accomplish to provide and protect. This is the nature of our biology. And so for those that are unfamiliar with the term hypergamy, hypergamy is essentially any desire that you have to be in a higher social class with a significant other. That's the most basic form of hypergamy that you can get. Now, women are naturally hypergamous by nature, so they're always looking for the best of the best. And rightfully so. I mean, there's in our tribal days with our ancestors, the men that were not the best of the best were not reproducing. And this has not changed from today. Today's day and age is not really any different as far as our biology goes. So what has changed? Well, our tools have changed, our technology has changed, our access has changed, our ability to connect has changed. But ultimately, women want the higher social status. Why? Because in the ancient tribe days, anyone that had a higher social status was usually the ones that survived. Because if you could work together and you could lead people toward a common goal, you're the one that defeated the snakes. You're the one that defeated the other tribes that were trying to fight for territory or whatnot. You were the ones that were able to actually know what was what and how things really are when you were navigating in the jungle or whatever. So the idea that hypergamy is a bad thing, because men a lot of the times when they hear about the word hypergamy, they get the sense of like, oh, well, if she just wants the best of the best all the time, then how is she ever going to commit to me? And it's like, that's a good question. That's a good question. Because it is absolutely, it's like a beatific terror to actually commit to a woman nowadays as a man. And one of the reasons is because of the laws that are in place, but the other reason is because of the different kinds of access that women have available to them all the time. I mean, it takes tremendous self-control on the woman's end nowadays to be able to say no to all of these men that are wanting to get with her, so to speak. So the woman, I genuinely believe, and I've said this many times, a woman should get the best possible man at the youngest she possibly can. So as soon as she's 18, like if I had a daughter and she was 18, but she was dating this guy that was like 32, but this guy that was 32 seemed to be going in a positive direction, improving his life, making certain changes, treating her well. She was treating him right. I mean, age wouldn't really matter, because at that point the man is just entering his prime if he's done the work, right? This is another thing that men need to understand. You're only going to be able to attract a woman that is young, fertile, feminine, cooperative, fit, only if at that age, if you've done the work inwardly and outwardly. So this delusion that a lot of men have, that's like, oh, well, I haven't even hit my prime yet. It's like, well, yeah, you haven't, but what are you doing today to make sure that you're going to hit your prime later and not in high school, right? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Because I was someone that I didn't think that I was even going to have a prime. When I was like 23 years old and nearly 200 pounds of fat, like, I did not think that I was going to have a prime down the line. And now it's like, I have so many options available to me that I'm understanding what it's like to be a hot 20-year-old woman. Like, it's like, there's like so many good options, and yet there's so many options that seem like good options, but then they turn out to be, it's like, how would you say it? It's like going to a steakhouse, right? You're going to a steakhouse. But when you find out what kind of steak you're actually getting and the price that you're paying for, you're like, wait a minute, I was told that this was Wagyu steak. Like, I was told this was going to be the best of the best. And then you get the steak, and it looks like something that's in the clearance section at your local superstore. It's like, wait a second. This doesn't really look right. Why am I paying this much for this kind of like outcome? Well, that's the reality of our modern dating age, ladies and gentlemen. Both men and women are feeling this way. And I still have faith to create a family, to create a longevity legacy for myself and my family. However, I wouldn't say I'm pessimistic, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm optimistic either at this point. In fact, I'm getting to the point now where it's like, you really don't even want to build with any of these men or women out here anymore, because nobody's really trustworthy. And I'm speaking in regards to the dating specifically. And again, I'm not a dating coach, but I'm just giving my philosophical and psychological perspective on the spiritual situation that we have. And so my recommendation to you men would be to deal with women that have something to lose. That's how you use hypergamy against them, is by making sure that they have something to lose in the relationship. If you are a man that holds the leverage in a relationship, which is where she wants it to be, by the way, women want you to have the leverage, even though they want to have the control. They actually really don't deep down. But when you have the leverage, that's when a lot of things change for the better for yourself. You start to realize who the real attention whores are and who are the actual women that genuinely want to be in your life. And I can say this without a shadow of a doubt, that any man that is even worth his salt will be able to tell the difference between an attention whore and something else. Now, what is an attention whore? Attention whore is basically a woman that is not satisfied with the one man or the familial men in her life, that she needs to get validation from all these other sources of men out there. And you can spot these kinds of women by exhibiting their behaviors and examining their behaviors and just really starting to understand like how women really operate. Because here's another thing, right? I don't even know what to call it. It's not a fallacy, but it's more like a psyop. The idea that men cheat more than women do, I genuinely believe that this is a psyop. And the reason that I believe that this is a psyop is because I've seen more women wanting to cheat with me than I've seen men wanting to cheat on their girlfriends. It's insane. Like, it's actually insane. I never thought that it would be this bad. I never thought it would be this way. I never thought it was this way. Because when I was fat and ugly, and I guess I wasn't necessarily ugly, but I just was fat. I was lazy. I didn't have the mentality. I didn't have the mindset. I didn't have the ambition and the drive that I do today. And that was years ago, 4 years ago now, nearly. But I mean, now it's like, it's ironic. I'm seeing the other side of the coin completely. It's like the women, I can't get them away from me. And that may seem like something that is the opposite of a problem, but it actually kind of is a problem when they're the crazy Jezebel-like women that are just trying to leech onto your energy because you have vitality and you have vigor and you have resilience and relentlessness flowing through your veins. I mean, women love that kind of stuff because we men are supposed to have that kind of energy. We're supposed to be that kind of go get it kind of a man. We have to be able to hunt. And a lot of men don't have this hunter's mentality anymore. And we all know this. Like, I'm getting to the point now where it's like, we don't even need to talk about the problem. I think everybody knows the problem is there. Some people have refused to see the problem. Other people have accepted the problem, but they don't know what to do. Well, right now, we're in the solution stage as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm ready to start building the solution. And one of the ways that we're doing that is by, well, YouTube videos like this to just get the information out and steer people in a more positive direction and to give you guys the signs of what it's actually like to be in this kind of position where you can actually see what's going on and what some might call the underground, like the sexual underground. I mean, it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre how many women that I've seen with their boyfriends or their husbands, or that have even approached me. Like, there was a woman in December, so not too long ago, 4 months ago. She approached me and started talking to me, and she was showing a lot of interest, but she was pretty sly about it. Like, I'll give her that. It was good game for sure. Respect for that. But when I found out that she was married, and I actually had a dream that she was wearing an invisible ring. And then that next day I was at the gym, because that's where I met her, was at the gym. She'd met me anyway. And when I was walking past to go to the restroom at one point, there was these guys talking about this woman who, with her husband, like, oh yeah, like, have you, like, they said her name, which I'm not going to say her name, but they said her name and her husband's name, and then they were like, oh yeah, we're going to hang out later. And I was just like thinking about the dream that I had where I saw her wearing an invisible wedding ring. So I just steered clear. I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to pursue this. She was kind of confused. She was a little bit upset that I could see throughout like the next few weeks. She didn't understand what was going on. And sure enough, a couple months down the line, so this was about just a month and a half or so ago, I found out that, yep, she was married the whole time. I can't tell you that how many times that's happened over the past 2 years. Like, it's just not even, it puts wanting to get married on the back burner, even though it shouldn't be, but I can't help that I'm someone that is either more sexually appealing, more exciting, more whatever. Like, I can't help that. Like, I know that sounds maybe a bit arrogant, but I can't help that she picked a guy to be with for the long haul that she's not attracted to. And the crazy thing is that she didn't come off as that kind of woman. She didn't come across as a seductive, like, promiscuous whore. That's not what she came across as. And maybe she's not. Maybe she's not. Maybe she actually was like genuinely wanting to be in a relationship with me. But who cares? Who cares? The point is that this kind of mentality that men have towards thinking that they're going to be the only man for this woman and she's only going to have eyes for him. If you're not already there, you're not already there. So you have to make sure that you are the best option for her. So what do? The least that you could do is get into fantastic physical healthy shape. And you don't even have to be like a bodybuilder or anything like that. You just got to be in good shape. Take care of yourself. The less fat that you have, and I know this from experience, the less fat that you have, the more attracted the women are going to be. You don't even have to have like a whole bunch of muscle. Just be a little bit toned and not fat, and you'll get pretty far. And you have to have the raw sexual appeal to women. A lot of the times men think, well, what if I'm not doing enough for her, or if I'm doing too much or not enough? Like, what about her? What about what she's doing? Think about this. Like, already as men, we have so much burden to perform. We have so much burden to like make the lives of everybody around us so much better all the time. And the woman just has to breathe. Like, really? She just has to show up with her I'm not going to say that, but she just had to show up with her box and breathe, and she's just a 10. Come on. Come on, guys. We need to start holding women more accountable. And when she deflects accountability, move the hell on. If a woman is not willing to cooperate with you and work with you, you've got to be able to move on. And this is why I like hypergamy, because it filters out all of the women that genuinely want me from the ones that just want to use me. And generally speaking, women don't really use men that they're attracted to. But there are times when they will, because it depends on the moment. It depends on the moment. Is she just more attracted to you at this moment than the other time? That's it. So just make sure that you're improving your life. You're growing closer to God. You're not participating in this degenerate society, but you're also not necessarily taking a woman seriously as soon as she shows interest. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take women seriously. I'm not saying that for any women watching this, that you shouldn't take men seriously. But we've got to find a solution. And I think that solution is to start actually being in relationships with intent. Not just because we're alone, not just because we're lonely. I actually want to build something here. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.